Hi, I'm Dave Epstein. Welcome to this edition of Growing Wisdom. And today I'm talking about how to prepare your garden when you have a drought. The reality is we do not have an official drought here in New England yet, but we are experiencing a very dry and abnormally warm April. And this is one of my garden beds there, and I'll show it to you a little closer in a second. The soil is already very dry. We're in mid-April. We're not even to April 15th yet. I want to put in some of these lettuces. We've got some red sales. One of my favorite lettuces, actually, just a beautiful color there, right? And looks really wonderful in a salad. Now, I can and I should water these before I put them in. But if you put them into garden soil that's really dry, the problem is that the roots are going to dry out really fast and they're not established yet. So the only soil they really have that they're working with is this tiny little bit that's inside one of these cells. It's not ready to go into the soil. So you want to moisten up that soil quite a bit before you plant. Here's the garden bed that we're talking about here, where I want to put some stuff. And you can see there's actually some arugula coming up from last year. Let's go in. And it's just, I mean, this is mid-April. You should not be this dry. And I don't want to plant the lettuce plants or anything else. I've got some other seedlings. I don't want to plant it in soil that's like this because it's just going to make it more difficult to establish. I planted these maybe 10 days ago, and you can see they're struggling a little bit because it's been so dry, and it's just hard for me to get out and water. Now let's go over to a different bed, which I already put the sprinkler on here. You can see these two raised beds here, and look how nice and moist this is. You can just see the difference. And some of the water splashed over, that's asparagus, some of the water splashed over. But look at this area. I mean, if I want to plant in this is, look at it, it's dusty, literally. If you look closely, this is some Claytonia, and you can see how stressed out it is. It should be a really nice green. And even these little baby arugula plants are just kind of wilting here in the lack of water. So we're going to take care of that, and we're going to get this area prepared a little bit better. By adding some sprinkler here and getting this wet, what I'm going to do is probably leave this on for 20 minutes or so, and that'll get the soil fairly evenly moist. And then I can plant my cold weather crops. Again, it's mid-April. I'm not putting in tomatoes or peppers or eggplants. It's just too cold, even though we're having a warm spell. But this will help out. And then I can mix in, if I want to mix in some of that, compost in the little planting area, I can absolutely do that. I've already put in some fertilizer, and that'll work in with the watering. My goal with this video is just to remind you that your soil should be evenly moist. It should have its fertilizer in there, all of your amenities. Whether you're planting little lettuces or cabbages or tomatoes, even if it's a little bit warmer, you definitely want the soil to be evenly moist. You do not want to be putting plants, seedlings, in a very dry environment. And also, remember, if you're starting things from seed directly in the garden, you really need to have things moist. Otherwise, it's just not going to germinate. And just watering a little bit, trying to kind of keep up with really dry soil, makes it even more difficult. For Growing Wisdom, I'm Dave Epstein.